Welcome to the second episode of the Bastard Sermon. This is one of your three hosts, Cody Hucker.
Patrick Seta.
Luke Young.
And we are here today with two friends of Pat's. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Joe.
My name's Trinidad. You can call me T.
Well, we wanted to have you on to hear some crazy stories, but we also wanted to talk about some crazy shit that we also have been seeing on the internet lately. Luke, let's just start out with this. Luke here found this video online, and it's, let me just say what it's titled. Deputy shoots and kills teen in Ohio courtroom. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
Who's in trouble here?
Man.
This is some super dark shit to start off our podcast with, but I feel like it's relevant, so we should definitely talk about it. So
It's local, too.
I believe the story is that the kid was in a courtroom and his mom got into some fight with the officer that was in the courtroom, and he tried to take the cop away from his mom, put his hands on the cop. And their version of the story was that they fucking slammed the kid down, or the mom and the grandma's version was that they slammed the kid down and his gun went off and they shot him in the abdomen and he died in the hospital 30 minutes later, unfortunately.
So I want to know who's in trouble.
Now, my whole thing is it's a courtroom, so shouldn't there be fucking cameras and multiple witnesses that could corroborate what had
countless
happened?
officers there to stop this from happening.
But their version
countless.
is that he was in fear of his life of a 16-year-old.
Fear
I
of
don't
the
know.
life is always what it is, man. None of these guys are trained or have the balls to know what the hell to do. It's so much uncertainty.
I completely
and
agree.
that just leads straight to the worst conclusion first.
Not many people are psychologically fitted to work as officers of the law.
Oh, fuck
There's
yeah.
not many people at all. It's a hard job. You essentially have the license to kill.
With a lot of paperwork.
I think
lot of paperwork. But to some people, the paperwork doesn't fucking matter. Like,
No.
they'll fucking do it.
Yeah, paperwork. Yeah.
I think Joe
Yeah.
kind of touched on it pretty well to start with. It was like there's not a whole lot of examination on who these dudes are and if they're really like qualified to be out there in the middle of some shit and dealing with people on a regular basis. They don't do psychological exams like Luke said. They could come straight out of high school and become a cop. And there's not a lot of like what's the word I'm looking for? Someone help me out. I'm stuttering. Background screening on
Yep.
who these people really are. I mean, there's background checks, but it doesn't.
Like,
background
were
check's
you
not gonna-
arrested? No.
It's not going to tell
Good
you if you
enough
have the
to me.
mental fortitude to be able to deal with a life or death situation and know if you're going to be able to handle yourself correctly. And I mean, I think that's a big part of what happened here. But it's some super sad, depressing shit to start a podcast with, guys.
Yeah. Do you think the
Jesus
judge brought
Christ.
out the dancing lobsters?
What?
Never mind. It's
No.
an
Go
Amanda
ahead.
Show reference. If you guys watched Nick back in the day.
I was like 11 the last time I saw that shit.
You know what, Cody? Whatever, dude.
There's been
Let's
a
play
lot
this.
of
Let's
alcohol
see what
dumped
this
on
is.
my brain since then that I don't. All right, so we don't have audio this time, so we're going to have to talk about what's going on the screen.
And just look
Well.
this up.
So they're showing some aerial footage.
Don't worry, guys. We don't have
This
audio.
is very relevant.
Down, and he fired a shot,
Can you hear that?
hitting Haynes in the abdomen. Franklin County Chief of Investigations spoke about what happened.
As I mentioned, this is an ongoing investigation.
Is he wearing lip gloss?
He is
It looks.
loud.
He is
God.
sweaty.
Super shiny.
His
super
lips
shiny.
are sweaty.
His glasses are fucking sweating. Look at him. Jesus. God. He did not want to be on television talk about this kid getting shot right now. He's like, oh, God, I don't say the wrong thing. Oh, no, stick to the script.
They picked him up just after he was blowing a dude in the other room.
He does kind of look like he just got out of the bathroom.
That's
Oh,
cop
fuck,
mode.
well, I got an interview.
Authorities
Wipe the
say
jizz off his...
Well, authorities said the man was really sweaty who we interviewed. So sweaty, we had to turn the microphone away from him. So sweaty.
We probably shouldn't do videos this time because we don't have the input for audio on a video.
That's
So
cool.
it's just going to sound like fucking noise in the background until I get more inputs.
That's cool. So after that, I just wanted to talk about it. I feel like we ruined like the sadness of the video because instantly that guy's sweat, like his anxiety, totally took the
very
focus of the whole
distracting.
thing. Oh man, yeah. I mean, he was really sweaty though. I mean, who
that
said that
whistle
you
was
can't trust
wet.
someone whose lips sweat?
Dave Chappelle in his
That
new
was Dave
special.
Chappelle.
Yeah, he was like, this motherfucker came out here with his lips sweating and shit.
These are facts now.
You guys don't know the kind of things that are in my reports. And he's like, you're not supposed to fucking tell people that. I don't want to do Dave Chappelle bits on the podcast, but that's what the whole thing was.
So, Joe, let's talk about a little bit about you since you're our guest today. So, tell us a little bit about your history, like what you've done, like things that have interest you or things that adventures you've gone on, something that is just a little crazy. Let's hear something good.
Well, I can go straight to the to the good old story I told you already.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was back in the youth days, running around doing drugs and whatnot. We were in the process of procuring said items, and the ordeal didn't go as it should, and his brother was the procuree. He was the one running in and grabbing and getting, and
The donuts from UDF that you guys were purchasing.
yeah.
Was
And
it actually donuts?
Of course it was, Pat. Keep going, sir.
Donuts are great. But so he comes back with nothing, and we search his ratty ass. The whole time we're searching him, he's like shifting and jiving his hands and shit, and finally I grabbed his fucking hand and he had a needle in it and shit. So we came to surmise that he had used all of our money. So we wanted to just leave his ass out in Indiana. But we had somebody with us that wasn't too fond of that idea, so we took him home, and our idea was we were just going to beat the shit out of him when we got him there, So as soon as we pull up, he shoots inside quick as hell.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah,
Hey.
could have seen the smoke.
Get right up on
Yeah,
the thing.
could have seen the smoke coming from behind him. But so we're young and full of piss, and we're like, we'll just go knock on his fucking door, And little did we know, his dad, and this may be rumor, was apparently so
It actually
Probably-
was a.
let's not talk
There we
about
go.
gangs
But-
on the podcast. Let's just cut that part out. We'll bleep the names and such, but keep going.
yeah. So
Whoops.
It's all
he
right.
was affiliated, and he came with a .44 Magnum revolver at the door to
My
our face.
Lord.
And we just told him, like, hey, man, your son robbed us. We just won him. And he wasn't too fond of his son at the time, I guess, because he just threw his ass out the door. And he said,
Good luck.
whatever you're going to do, don't do it on my yard.
Jesus Christ.
So we took his ass to the street, and my buddy that I was with, who was way more upset than I was over $20. In hindsight, $20. What
Give
we're
him
talking
fucking
about.
$1,200 worth of dentistry work that he's gonna have to get
Yeah.
later.
So he had called some buddies, and they had showed up. So there was roughly 4 of us, and I had happened to got a big ass rock twice the size of my hand in my hand. I opened up with that, and
Ouch.
yeah, he took it like a fucking champ, man. No
Did he-
stutter.
no,
Dude,
same
didn't
face?
even hit the ground.
Did he like
It
spit,
hit him-
he spit
it
a
hit
tooth out
him-
and said, "Is that all you got?"
It hit him square in the jaw, man.
Is that it?
And nothing. Just, some kickback. And my buddy twirled around with him for a minute, hitting a couple times, and then he threw my buddy off him. I twirled around with him for a minute. He never really hit us too much. He was just grabbing, and then he threw my ass off him. And then the other 2 guys came in and just started kicking him into the car and just dropping kicks into him. And that lasted for a little bit. And he just kept getting up. He got up a good
Is that all you got?
6 or 7 times.
Why would you want to
Before-
get up after getting your ass
Dude,
beat?
he was on some shit, man. We think he was doing some Special K, so pretty numb to the idea of what was going on.
Special K is disassociative, so I'm surprised he was all there with you guys.
Yeah, well, it was only $20,
guy, I
so maybe he
guess.
didn't get too much, but I don't know how that stuff works. I
It
never
made
messed
him
with that.
Superman. He took a rock
Well,
to
it's
the
a-
dome.
It's
Yeah.
a fucking tranquilizer.
It was-
What would happen if he hit you though? Would it be a super punch?
I don't know. I was definitely thinking about that. 'Cause it was cold.
Of
Look,
an extra chromosome.
it was cold as shit, and 4 guys were beating this guy into the ground, and he just kept getting up like it was nothing. So I finally said, hey, let's
That's enough, guys.
we're
That's
about done
enough.
here, guys. And just one more good swift kick to the
you
nuts.
guys
I
got
think
your
I took his
$20
coat.
back.
I took his coat.
$20
when,
for the beating.
Yeah, I think I took his coat when we left, and it was cold out, and his dad had kicked him out. So
Savagery.
I think he got the short
How-
end of the stick on that one.
Do
There.
you
Now-
still have the coat?
My
No.
very important next question is this story past the statute of limitations?
I definitely, in retrospect, have remorse. You know,
Righteous,
I'm
yeah.
not
No, yeah.
not the most
anytime you-
excited about the actions I took
I feel
that
like
night.
most fights anybody gets in, no one's gonna really go and say, "Oh yeah, it was fucking great," unless like you really hated that person, I guess.
I'm sure most maniacs brag about fights they've been in.
I got a buddy that would disagree, man. So I
See?
have a friend who was just shot at the U.S.
Point
Bank
and case.
ATM across from Northgate Mall on Coleraine.
Oh my God.
I live down the street from there.
Yeah, they're on
Yes,
the
you may
news.
know about it.
I haven't heard about this yet, but I'm fascinated.
He went up to the ATM, and he's a very take no shit, roughneck kind of guy. And someone came up and tried to rob him at gunpoint and was close enough to him, and he grabbed his knife and stabbed him 3 times in the chest.
What kind of knife was he carrying on him?
He said it was just about a 3.5-inch pocket knife, nothing fancy. But he said he had 3 good, the knife over the shower curtain killer thrust in the chest
My
3
God.
times.
Psycho movie fucking...
Yeah.
Did he kill him?
He did not kill him. The guy's still in the
Perfect
hospital
timing.
from
That
what
would
I
be-
know, though. I talked to him.
And now the guy that
couple
shot him
weeks
gets
ago.
to
They actually
sue
got
Yeah.
him?
because
Oh,
he
yeah,
got
they got him.
stabbed during his
That's awesome.
Yeah,
robbery.
he went to the hospital. He showed up at the
Laws.
hospital, because he was
Loopholes.
basically mortally wounded. I mean, he was
Right.
stabbed 3 in the chest. So, I mean, if Nick didn't get his heart,
My
But
God.
yeah, but he got shot twice in the activity.
Took his
After he
thumb
had
off.
shot him, or after he had stabbed him,
Damn.
my dude was going back to his car, and apparently the guy got the gun and took 2 pretty well-aimed well, not very well-aimed, I guess, because the first one took off the tip of his left thumb,
Damn.
Owie,
and
damn.
then and then the other one
Shit.
went into whatever the hell the forearm bone is here and shattered that, so he had to get some surgery for that. He's got a crazy vaginal looking scar on his arm.
Oh my God, that sounds fucked up. So speaking of fucked up, you said that you went on a tour, and you said you saw some crazy things. I would like to hear a little bit more about that if you feel like delving into that.
Well-
what kind of stuff would you see?
So I was on convoys. There was several times that we were taking
What
fire.
division
There's-
what division of the military were you in?
I was in the Army and the Guard. So I did 6 years doing that. I spent a year in Afghanistan in 2010 and 11. I can think of two stories worth telling there. So there was one time we were taking fire down a road, and
Give us like an image.
Or
so-
location, where are you at
Yeah.
this time? when you're taking
all right.
fire?
So daytime, midday, very sandy, mud huts throughout the area.
What country was this?
Afghanistan. We were in the eastern region. We were driving north down a road, mud huts on both sides, taking fire from the northeastern side. And so RPGs are instant kill. They're illegal in the country. They're immediate escalation of force upon sight. So
That's a scary ass weapon to face against.
yeah,
soon as you
and
see
both
one,
of
you're
these
taking
stories
out the
involve
big guns.
RPGs, of course. So one of us had called out RPG. It's 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock, and I heard the platoon sergeant. He was the one that called it out. And his voice is shaky, man, because that's right in line with his vehicle. I saw it wasn't far enough away to where I couldn't see that the person carrying this was not over the age of 18.
Wow.
I wouldn't say that the person would have been younger than 12, but
Sure
they were
looked
young.
like it. Yeah.
They were young, and it was a pretty grisly imagery, because it was I was the vehicle right behind the guy that took the approach, and I watched him walk his bullets right up and chop that little kid in half, and his upper half spins and creates kind of a fucking tie-dye-ish
God damn.
pattern on the wall behind.
That's grisly, man.
Yeah. So that was definitely something that I'll probably never forget.
What was
I don't
their
doubt that.
reaction out of doing that?
Whose reaction?
The person that got cut in half, Luke? Well, I would say that they were fucked.
The person who did the cutting.
Yeah.
A lot of
He
reactions.
reacted like His brother, he was like, "Is that all you got, punk?"
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No, the person who just split that dude.
Well, I'm actually. He's one of the few people that I did maintain contact with. We don't really talk about that, you know. He probably takes it a little bit more seriously than I do. The last time me and him got together and spoke, we drank so much that I got a DUI that night and totaled my car.
Oh, my God.
Man.
So me and him haven't gotten together since then.
Cause he got some serious fucking, and I guess if you want to talk
he's
about
still
it,
in, so I don't know
He's
that
a
he's got
lifer.
any lingering effects from that day. He's kind of an asshole, so I don't think he really lets that bother him.
right on. I mean, you got to kind of adapt a fucking mindset to survive, I imagine.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
well you prepare yourself on a daily basis, like, all right, today's my day. You know, if you don't do that, then you're gonna be fucked when it happens. You know,
Right,
you're
that
gonna be
makes
scrambling and panicking and not thinking correctly.
Where were you in the
So-
car on this? Were you driving the vehicle? Or
I was
what?
passenger.
Your passenger?
Yep, I was in a 2-man vehicle behind him, so it was passenger.
What was the point of that whole mission? Are you allowed to say?
It's combat logistics. We were just moving shit, people, stuff from place to place, blown up vehicles, personnel, equipment, whatever. I didn't really ask.
How hot was it over there?
Well, in the daytime, it'd get pretty hot, but it depends on the location. Cause, like, so I was in the east. The east is very mountainous, so it gets pretty cool there. But if you're in the south is very, very flat. It gets pretty hot there, so it fluctuated. It would get anywhere from 111 during the day to like 54 at night. You know.
It's
Oh,
got to
wow.
fuck with your lungs, especially with all the dust. And all
Yeah, and the
fucking
altitude, man. The altitude.
shit, right? And then, you said that there was another story from this time that you said was worth telling. as well?
Yeah, it was just an RPG story, man. So this was the first time I ever saw one shot. We were a lot of our efforts there were revolved around training the Afghan National Army. So you know, we coordinated a lot. They were with us on some missions. We were driving down a road, and we have Afghan National Army on the left-hand side of the road, and then on the right-hand side of the road, we were being engaged. Just small arms fire, nothing crazy, you know, nothing that could penetrate the hull of our vehicles. So it's not a lot to worry about. But there's kind of a rule in war. You're engaging, and it's not to fire through your forces. So the Afghan National Army guys, like dumbasses, are just shooting through our convoy to these people. So we're getting fire from both sides, just because they're dumbasses. And then this guy comes out of the building, and he's got an RPG on his shoulder. He's an Afghan National Army guy, so, you know, he's allowed to have it. And this dickhead trips and fucking shoots it.
Oh my!
I'm not playing. Just like you would see in any cartoon, this motherfucker trips and shoots that shit. And it goes like it goes right in front of my vehicle, and we're spaced out no more than 20 feet from the vehicle in front of me. So it fell within that 20-foot window, and my asshole puckered so tight, man. I didn't shit for a fucking week. You know?
That's got to be some super scary shit. Now, what about the transition though? Because that's what I've heard a lot. I've got a lot of like combat veteran friends and like just people that have served and whatever, and they always talked about the transition back home from like dealing with the day to day over there, and then fucking coming back, and the shit's all entirely different and slow. What was it like for you, like on the way back? Did it make a big impact, or was it just?
There was a lot of hatred, you know, because me being a very fit individual, you know, I come back home, and of course they've got this parade, and the process to come home is already cumbersome, you know, so you're already, get me the fuck out of here, I want to drink beer and see my family. I don't give a shit about any of these random people. I want to drink beer and see my family. They're parading us slow mile per hour through the fucking town, and the whole side of the road is just littered with people fucking 300 plus pounds too big to get out of their goddamn lawn chairs and shit. And they took the great effort to come out there that day, but couldn't even stand the fuck up. But
Facts.
yeah, I was so fucking mad, and it took.
Barely waving those little
It
fucking
probably
American
took
flags
me
with their
meeting
swollen
my
head being
wife that I'm married to now to really make me see a little bit of love, because it was fucking hatred, everything, man, anything, I just hatred.
Oh yeah, damn. That's very disrespectful for someone to do that. They just, well, I mean, you come out there, yeah, but just stand up. Why not?
Well,
They don't
and
know what you've
that's
seen
an
over there.
overinflated view, from me, because I mean, I shouldn't even have an opinion on what they should do. I mean, they came out, they made signs. They took effort. It is what it is. I believe, looking back on how I felt, I was being a dick. I shouldn't have felt like that.
You probably had a feeling of like that they were ungrateful because they have all these nice things and they're fat.
That is part of
Taking it for granted.
gluttonous. Yeah, that's yeah. Taking it for granted, a big thing, is what I was looking at too.
Versus
But
just hating.
I've since then learned to not hate the shit out of people for no reason.
Oh yeah, makes sense. So when you got home? So when you went over to Afghanistan? Were you there the whole year there, or was that the whole tour? Was the whole year, or did you come home in between then?
It was technically 11 months. I did come home. I happened to be a lucky one to land Christmas and New Year's in the same leave. I think I got home the 18th of December, and I went back like the 2nd or 3rd of January. That's a crazy leave to be able to get,
What's leaving that long like when you're gone from your family? What's that like? Just having that much time apart.
Well, it all depends on, one, how much you like the people that you're leaving, and
Yeah.
And how you maintain communication. I couldn't imagine what it was before, the internet and how phones are nowadays.
It was
You know,
letters most of the time.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I mean, the amount of effort that it would have taken to maintain communication, I could see why so many people didn't maintain communication, and why a lot of people have damaged relationships from that. With technology as it is today, it's not tough to maintain those communications if you want to. You just have to want to.
No, yeah, it makes sense. So you had full access to the internet, everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
There. Did you guys have stuff to do? Because most of the time you're doing other things in the military, but
You get downtime if you're on the base.
1% is actual engagement.
Well, it all depends on what your assignment is. So my original assignment was in the Tactical Operations Center to intercept not intercept, but be there to receive communications from our people and to do their radio checks and whatnot, because you got to maintain communications at least hourly and whatnot. But that's not the life for me. That makes it take forever. That drives the time on, and it makes you spend money too, because you can spend money while you're there, man. You can buy shit off Amazon all day long, and that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to feel like I earned it, so I decided to go on the missions. I volunteered for it. I didn't want it to take forever,
What was the people's lifestyles in those areas?
Well, very rural. It seemed to me like it was like I pictured it in my head. I made this little thing that whenever one of these children became of age, that they would make their own mud hut, by hand, because that's what all these people live out of. They either live
How
out
big
of.
are they?
Well, some of them bigger than you'd think.
Could they do multiple stories and things like that out of mud?
I never saw the inside. I never got the pleasure of walking inside of one, but it never looked as though that was the thing. I never saw. What they would do is they'd have huge walls on the outside, and then they'd have a smaller little abode on the inside. Sometimes they'd make roofs in between them or little areas like that, whatever they were feeling ingenuitive with.
It's all out of mud. Nothing but mud.
So yeah, mud, man. Just
How strong is the mud? Let's say you shot at one of those houses? They just crumble apart, or is it something that it's like cement?
Well, it'd crumble under repeated fire, but it definitely take a couple shots.
It's like clay, right?
Yeah, it's like it's pretty hard. I mean, I tried punching one and it hurt the fuck out of my hand, and I didn't break it.
Why'd you punch one?
Just to try it. We were
Like, I wanna
fucking
punch
around.
this mud hut.
Yeah, we were drinking and shit.
Fuck you, Mud Hut.
Yeah.
Can you
What's
make a mud hut here?
Do you know how to make one?
Nah. Hey, but you can look that shit up though. I bet.
What's the
sun
access
bricks,
to
man? You
alcohol
just
like out there?
water and mud and sun or some shit.
What's the access to alcohol like out there? Like, how can you guys get drunk
That's a
out
really
there?
good question.
Yeah, it depends on how good your family is.
So it can be
Oh, they
mailed
send
to
it
you,
to
and they
you.
won't.
Yeah. It for the people that aren't in the military, they can just fucking have it sent however, you know. And sometimes that's how we would get it through civilian contractors who were cool. But then sometimes, you know, parents would send it water bottles, Coke bottles, however they want it. It would have to be massed. You can't just send it, you know,
Bottle
just
of
a bottle.
Smirnoff,
Yeah, it probably
bottle
would.
of Jack Daniels. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. So they would. I had a buddy whose mom would like little yellow sticker on the bottom of the ones that were.
It's a good idea. What
Yeah.
happens if you guys get caught getting like shit faced hammered out there?
Depends
you
on
get
who
in trouble?
catches you.
Do you
Yeah.
get in trouble every time? Because
Depends on who catches you, because everyone drinks. I drank with all of my leadership, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean, all of us are trying to drink as long as you're not being stupid and making trouble. And
Firing guns off
Yeah.
in the desert in the middle of the night and shit.
if you're low key with it, nothing will happen because everyone drinks. I mean, you see a lot of people cheating on their fucking wives and husbands. Adultery. There we go. You see a lot of adultery going on there. You know?
Really?
Oh yeah.
Give us some examples of what's going on.
Well, I lived in a co-ed barracks, you know, and so my room was on all three sides surrounded by women who were married, none of which were remaining faithful from what I could hear. And that's not just singling out the ladies, because I mean, I've seen definitely several upper level leadership members commingling, we'll say.
That makes sense.
Right.
So how does that make you incredibly uncomfortable? I mean, what do they do about that specifically? Nothing.
Shit.
Dude, there's people out there.
That was
fucking-
high five moment. What do you mean?
I'm just curious. I'm just trying to learn more about it.
It's got to be like there's so many people out there that are like this could be their last day on Earth. Like
Yeah,
fucking-
and not
Yeah.
many people that have wives or husbands are talking about their wives or husbands. It's a kind of a mental sequestering thing. You know, you kind of keep the shit that you love separate from, oh shit, I might die today. You know?
right.
That makes sense.
I don't know. I was single at the time, so I was like, please, one of you ladies sleep with me.
Did it happen?
No.
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 Well, that's sad to
Probably
hear.
good it didn't happen.
No successful dick slanging in Afghanistan.
No.
Well, what happens? Like, let's say there's a pregnancy.
That would be a big fucking problem.
Did that ever happen?
Not in my unit, but I know that it has and it does, and that's immediate getting the fuck out and getting in trouble.
Is
Like
that
court-martial?
dishonorable
I don't know exactly. I mean, I know there's definitely going to be paperwork filed. Definitely punishment, rank taken, money taken, shit like that. I don't know that it would be called a court martial or something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It would be more than a
punishment
slap
would
on
be
the wrist.
levied.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Luke?
I was asking if that would count as a dishonorable discharge.
Dishonorable.
Nah,
discharge.
I probably wouldn't even be a discharge depending on the circumstance. I mean, the person still is a good person and fit for duty, you know, and if they wanted to be it, and it all
Like,
depends
hurry up
on,
and plop
on
that
the,
little
on the
bastard
leadership,
out
really.
and come back over
We
here.
got
You know.
Get back to work,
Yeah, back to work.
you factory.
So this is a question I've always wondered. Now, when someone let's say gets hurt out there, like how hurt do you have to be sent home, rather than just you're still there and you're just gonna heal and you're gonna stay here?
Well, that's up to the person and the medics, really. If it's something small, you know, sickness,
Like let's say a broken bone.
you're probably gonna go home.
Okay.
If you can't walk,
Lose a
if
finger.
you can't carry someone, if you can't shoot a weapon, then you're going home.
What about let's say you're losing a finger, like a pinky?
That would honestly depend on the person and the finger. If the
He's
person lost a finger and wanted to stay, they would probably let him stay.
Did
know?
you ever get injured over there?
Nah, other than my back and knees hurting.
Just from walking so much.
Having that armor on and jumping out of a vehicle that's about 6 feet high in the air, so jumping out all the time and running, and yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty wild. Sorry if you can hear a little whining in the background. It's her dog making some noise. You
Little
can't hear it?
dead
Okay.
tooth dog.
Yeah.
How's her dead tooth, by the way?
I hope it falls out soon, but her breath smells like straight sewage.
She
It's
is.
fucking nasty.
Ugliest,
Nasty.
smelliest dog I've
You
ever
ever smell
seen.
a
I'm
bad?
sorry, Pat.
You ever
I
just
have.
get a good whiff of dog breath?
What's up with this cat?
Oh, that is
Also Luna, because they
Luna.
like to
Yeah.
name all their pets the same name to confuse the fuck
Yeah.
out of everyone.
Really?
They don't assign
Really?
juniors or
Well-
seconds or thirds or nothing.
the Doberman. Name is Luna, and that cat's name is Luna. But they were named before they met.
Oh,
But
wow.
now it's just a little confusing, you know.
You know you can rename it.
Yeah, you should totally change that. I don't think there's laws against
Get
that
it
I've had
yet.
this animal for 2
Call it
years.
She doesn't even know her own fucking name. Watch this, Luna.
Luna.
Stop.
Luna.
She stopped.
She answers the whistling.
That, you want to name her?
I'm not gonna whistle on the
fucking
podcast.
doesn't.
Yeah, she does. No, she does. So that's interesting stuff over there. So
We're about at the halfway point, so I want to take a quick break, and after we get back, I'd like to introduce you guys to a fun segment that we call Man to Man. We'll
Oh,
be
God.
right back.
so you guys ready?
We're back.
Yeah.
We're back. Thank you for your patience. All right. So we're going to talk about man to man.
It's just the two
Just
of
the two
us.
of us.
Me and you.
So Joe, I'm going to ask you a question. I need you to answer as honestly as you can. Now I'm going to change it up for you a little bit as we go, but just so you know, you're not going to like either, or you might. Who knows? It could go either way. So it's like basically, would you rather? So man to man, just the two of us, just you and I.
And
Tell me anything. You can be honest with me, okay, Joe? You can talk to me.
You
Alright.
ain't got to give me the subtle whispers.
You're gonna
Come on, Joe. We're
we're
trying
gonna
to
get real
relax.
close
you
here for a moment.
Hold on. Let's hit the lights.
Let's delve deep.
All right, Joe.
All right.
just you and Pat now.
Yeah, it's just us. Quiet time. All right. Would you rather have a skin cape, or would you rather eat a bucket of Tide Pods?
Do I not know what a skin cape is?
Well, a skin cape, if I had to say, it's like a regular cape, like Batman's cape. So it's really long.
But it's made out of your
It goes
neck
over.
skin.
It goes over your shoulders. I'm trying to give you. Let me paint an image for you. So it goes over your shoulders a little bit. It's kind of like at the hair, the same kind of hair that you have on your arm. You know.
Now, Pat, important question. Does it have cartilage in it or bones?
It's
kind of
like no bones, but it does
Arteries?
have a long fingernail at the end. Not a very long, like thick
Oh
one,
my God.
but along the very edge, and you gotta clip it.
It's unsightly.
It also,
So, like the length of it, right?
It gets
The
really
whole
dirty.
length.
yeah, the whole
too.
length.
It's always on the ground.
It's always
picking
dragging
up
across
rocks.
the ground. The fingernail that's on there, the cape nail, gets a lot of gunk in it because it,
The cape
know.
nail.
yeah, yeah, like schmagma.
That's horrible.
Cape schmegma.
Yeah, but underneath it has like armpit hair, but it's skin cape hair, you know. So you got to put like deodorant on for that. It's a whole hassle. It's not a fun thing to have at all. It's really inconvenient.
Is there nerve endings
but
in it?
if
Like, does it
harnessed
hurt when somebody hits you with
correctly,
it?
Yeah, if you step
could
on it,
I
it's gonna hurt.
fly?
No, you can't fly.
I couldn't like flying squirrel glide with it.
I mean,
Uh,
you could try.
I think you could
You
try.
could be the.
You
the-
shouldn't, but you could try.
It might
Dude,
be
I'm
Wright
gonna
right.
go
brothers
with
of skin
cape, man,
capes.
because Tide Pods is death. So
What would you do with that skin cape? Would you tattoo it or anything?
I'd definitely
How do you
have
go
to
about
try to
bathing
sleep
your
like a
skin
bat.
cape? How would you bathe your skin cape?
very carefully.
Thoroughly.
Thoroughly.
A shower and a loofah
A loofah.
I'd use
How
a
would you
power
cut
washer.
the fingernails? Would you
on
use
a stick.
like a pair of scissors to cut the cape nail?
The cape you would have to
Yeah,
pick up
I'd
and
probably
drag
use my
around
teeth, man.
the side of your
I'd have to get
waist.
real personal with it, you know. I mean,
With all that
it
cape
I'd have to
schmegma
become
underneath?
one with it, you know. I mean,
But
it
hold
would-
on.
it would define me. So
Before you make your final decision on having a skin cape, just so you know, when you eat the bucket of Tide Pods, your insides are really clean.
yeah, I'll still
No,
I'll
take
skin
note of
cape
that.
it up.
You
Pat-
sure?
Pat always
Oh,
does.
yeah.
This is why I like Pat doing this because he always like has bad choices. He'll be like, "Would you rather have a skin cape or would you rather die from eating Tide Pods?" The one that doesn't involve death, Patrick. That one probably. Like, why don't you set us
you
up
don't
with
die.
something that
Let's
doesn't kill us or
hypothetically-
maim us horribly?
Hypothetically, you wouldn't die if you eat the Tide Pods, but you'd have like the cleanest insides of anyone on planet Earth because of how that's a lot.
I mean, if I wouldn't die, I'd have to go with the Tide Pods.
They're gonna
'cause it's
taste
gonna
terrible.
Be over,
They're
it's
gonna
gonna be
taste
over.
terrible.
you know?
They won't kill you, but they're gonna taste terrible. They're gonna taste like soap and bleach. It's not gonna come out of you very well either. So yeah, what do you pick?
He already said skin cape.
You
Well,
sure?
It leaves
mean, look,
burns on your tongue.
It does do that.
It does burn your tongue.
Swell up the old.
It makes a
the
spicy,
throat.
tense sensation on your tongue.
I hear it doesn't do good things to your kidneys.
Yeah, well, if I gotta live with something lifelong, or make something be over soon, I'd take the over soon, so.
But your
True.
insides would smell like pressed lavender.
You could get the skin cape removed.
Yeah, every time you fart, it's gonna smell like a fresh load of laundry.
Well, my wife would love that.
Joe, can you eat some more cabbage and cheese and drink a little beer? Because we're out of air freshener.
I got another one for you. Would you rather, like, let's say you were a part of an army, but you had to choose between being part of the Orcs army from Lord of the Rings, or you are going to be part of a Penguin army, but there's not much they can really do. They can't hold on to anything.
Penguin Army from Happy.
Well, would I be a grunt? Or, or
yep.
would I be running some shit?
Yep, you'd be fighting. I mean, you'll be you, but you're gonna be fighting along. But you can either be part of the Orc army
Well,
for the Dark Lord,
Or
and
be
he's a
penguin.
bastard, or you could fight along 6-foot-tall Emperor penguins, and they'll peck the shit out of something.
well,
They'll slap something.
I'd have to go with the Orc army, man.
Goddamn,
because
everyone
that's,
would.
That's
Everyone,
ruled by
Patrick, Orc
ruthlessness,
army.
But
know?
here's the
So-
catch: there's 100,000 Emperor penguins, and only
It's always one of
10,000 orcs.
Oh, I-
and they don't
I-
have
I ain't
weapons
worried.
either. They only
Still
have
a
their
tremendous
fists.
number of orcs, Patrick. You
I-
didn't say
I
it was
ain't
like
worried.
10 orcs.
I'm
one
just-
orc with one sword could easily
Murdering all
mutilate
those penguins.
all of those
Take
penguins.
100. You think they get tired?
100%.
Fuck no.
They would get tired of eating all of that penguin.
Would you ever eat penguin?
Yeah,
Like a
Yeah.
penguin,
Hell yeah.
a burger
Yes.
made out of penguin?
Absolutely.
To
Knowing that they're
survive-
endangered?
to survive.
I don't give a fuck.
To survive.
No.
The
just
endangered part just makes it so much more tender.
Like,
Everything
hey,
is
I got a gift
endangered.
card for this new
Juicier.
hot restaurant down the road, Penguin Hut, and they
Penguin
serve
Hut.
penguin, wings and
That sounds
penguin
good.
burgers.
Penguin wings.
Fucking
No,
nasty.
I would
Cruelty
not.
guaranteed meat.
Yeah, then it's you get to pick the penguin out too, like
That's
the
even
lobsters from Red Lobster. You pick out a lot of penguins, like, oh, I want that one. And
I
then
wish
they go
we
in the
did
back
that
and
with
slaughter the
more
fuck.
things.
Really?
I would love to get acquainted with the chicken I'm about to eat, man.
Get acquainted with it.
Yeah.
I know it. I've
Meet its wife and kids.
I feel like that would be interesting to actually defeather a chicken or something like that. And
I actually
go
get
and
in trouble
get all
sometimes.
the guts out with your hands and be like, "Ooh, this is gonna be a yummy treat."
Delicious bald eagle. That's
Yeah.
I get
Oh,
hollered
wow.
at sometimes at home because I'll refer to eggs as baby chickens or something of the
Gonna
sort.
eat
They're really
this baby
not, though. They're
chicken.
just chicken periods because they don't fertilize them.
Yeah, but I like it to sound
Just a
raw.
chicken
So what
period.
came first, the chicken or
I
the egg?
like it to sound wrong.
Seriously, what do you think came first? The chicken or the
or
egg?
Well, what would
Let's
sit
think
on
about
the
this
fucking
logically.
egg?
Let's answer this right
It
now.
would be the egg.
The egg?
I would
Yeah.
say
Who laid the egg?
microorganisms that
The
evolved.
whatever was right before the chicken. When it evolved.
Microorganisms.
'Cause
Way to take the fun out of that.
In order
Cody.
for it to be a
Probably,
chicken,
yeah.
it would have to be laid first. You know.
The goddamn
Yeah.
chicken, Patrick.
Do you think what came first, the platypus or the egg?
The egg.
Same answer, the platypus.
The platypus?
Microorganisms that evolved. Moving on, Patrick.
Let me ask you this, Cody, man to man.
Just me and you.
Just us. Look me in the eyes when I ask you
Just
this.
the two of us.
Would you rather be a platypus or would you rather be?
Would
an
you rather be
emperor-
a superhero with a giant dick? Oh, I don't know, Pat. Let me scratch
Or an
my
emperor
noggin
penguin.
about this.
or an emperor penguin?
A platypus or an emperor? I'm going fucking emperor penguin. That's just
Platypus, it's venomous.
That is true. They are venomous.
I don't know.
Oh, what a rookie!
You don't know.
decision,
I don't know
Cody.
anything about platypi.
Well,
I was
they're
waiting
in
for
warm
platypus.
I don't know anything
so-
about platypuses. All right, it wasn't what I
Platypussy.
studied
well,
in high school.
platypuses get some platypussy. You know what I'm saying?
Plat
Try to
that
get that.
pussy. That
Is
sounds
that
like
right?
a song, man.
Do they overpopulate?
Are they overpopulated? Are they
I feel like-
endangered?
Do they
I feel like at
need
one
to
point
be
they were
endangered?
endangered.
There's a
I
lot
don't
of
think they
pussy
are
getting
anymore, though.
platted.
Let's ask the real questions. Do you think a duck fucked a raccoon or some shit to
Yes.
get that, or a beaver?
No.
What do
Beaver
you
and a
think
duck
came
fuck?
first, a duck fucking a raccoon or the egg?
What do you think?
Man to man.
That's
Just me and you, Pat.
All right, let me come up with another one. Would you rather drink?
Last one, Pat. So make it a good one.
Okay, Joe.
Yeah.
Man to man, just us. Would you rather drink 100 Red Bulls in a row,
Would you rather die? All right,
or would you rather eat 10 8-pound chickens in one sitting in a hot car?
fucking hot car, Pat.
What?
Those are brain
What
busters.
the fuck are you talking about? What size Red Bull, sir?
No, they're the tiny ones, but that's 100. You have to do it.
I go with the Red Bulls.
You have to do it within an hour.
I go with the Red Bulls. I love a challenge.
God, you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely can't do the chickens.
In a hot car?
Yeah, I know I can't. Do
Well,
that.
hold on. Your shirt's off.
8 whole uncooked, unplugged chickens in a hot car, 10 little Red Bulls. I don't know, Pat.
No, 100 Red Bulls in an hour.
100.
100. You just upped it
Think
by
that.
10.
Think about it.
Sir.
Would you actually be able to do that in an hour?
No,
Way easier
probably
than
not.
eating a fucking
Probably.
8
That's a
chickens in a
lot of
hot
sugar.
car.
I
These
don't
are not
think
the
you
sugar-free
could
ones.
physically open a million.
I don't know how well you'd be afterwards.
The consequences of both of them are there. If you eat
You
eight-
will.
How would you rather die? Red Bull or fucking gorge
Overeating
yourself with chicken
in hot
and then
car.
heat stroke out?
I'd rather go with the Red Bull.
Imagine
death,
being all
'cause
sweaty with a
you're
full ass
about
belly
to
of
do
chicken.
something
You
badass
just
after
stroke on
drinking
out. That's the
100 Red
last.
Bulls.
What happens to your body when you drink 100 Red Bulls?
You
Can
get
someone
wings.
Google that?
Heart
Fucking
probably
heart
explodes.
explodes in your chest.
You get wings.
You get, oh, sure.
get
You
Lynx
actually grow
disease.
wings from all the fucking mutation and all that stuff from the Red Bull.
No, dude,
My
you get
God.
Lynx disease.
You get Lynx disease.
All right. Well, this was a great segment of Man to Man. I'm glad we did that.
Yeah.
But while me and Joe and T were outside smoking a cigarette, they told me that they had a funny ass bachelor story. So let's go fucking balls deep onto that. Who wants to start it off? T, you said that he hasn't been on the mic much. All right. So
Well, let's
Go
see,
ahead.
see if I can remember this correctly.
You get a little bit closer to the mic.
yeah, eat that shit.
Well, it was this guy's, well, it was Joe's bachelor party, and we got a room at the Radisson,
Ooh,
and
that's downtown, isn't it?
yeah, I got off work and I went straight down there, and he met me down there. So me and him were the first ones down there, and then his dad and his neighbor came up there, and we all went up to eat at the what's it called, the restaurant up there, the revolving restaurant they got up
Oh,
there.
well, I've been up there, but I don't remember what it's called. I think they actually don't let people eat up there anymore
Oh, really?
because an old lady fell and tripped. So the top of this, it's like some out of Men in Black. I feel like that's the best way I could think of it. It looks like one of those tall towers with like a circular thing on top, and it just spins around while you eat. And some lady fell and fucked up all the fun.
Yeah, it sounds like something that would happen. But, yeah. Well, first off, his dad already showed up drunk as shit, and we got there. We were all like having a nice dinner. It's like kind of like a fancy place and shit. And he's holding onto the railing because there's like stairs that go up right to where the revolving floor is. And he sees the revolving floor moving and the people like eating going around it, and he's holding onto the railing thinking he's moving and shit, and he's just falling all over the fucking place. But yeah, he was kind of lightweight embarrassing, but we still had a good time regardless. But it was legit. So we had food up there, and then well, his dad and his dad's neighbor left, and like three or four other guys showed up to come to the bachelor party, you know. And we went down to the strip
Dressed
club.
up like policemen and firemen. Yeah, I understand.
No, none of that. But yeah, we tried to go down to a strip club. It was in Covington, right? So like we had never been in the strip clubs out there, and we get there, and it was not the strip club you want to kind of go to. It was like every
Worst nightmare, dark. Well, all the lights on.
But
at
still
first.
Yeah.
very dark, like
A lot of
wearing
bullet
sunglasses
wounds and
inside
cigarette
kind of shit.
burns and fucking
Nasty looking.
yeah, there was no music going on, and all the girls were sitting at the bar, they were just hanging out, and they weren't even. There was nothing going on. There was nobody in there, just the girls. You
You
know,
were
It's
like
like
the only
we
people that
walked
came
in.
in?
Like,
and
nobody
someone-
would ever wanna go
someone
to the strip
flipped
club.
a clown switch, and then all the action started happening.
So we walk in there, me and a group of guys. My brother was there, and our buddy Sean and our buddy Tony was there. We went to the strip club was garbage. We went in there for a little bit, then left, and then we got strippers to go back to the hotel. We called up some strippers, and
So they left the strip club that you were at to go follow you to your hotel.
In
no,
my
no,
day,
they didn't come. We
in
went
my
called
day,
some. We
those
went back
were
to the
called-
hotel
you
and
got
called
better
some,
ones?
Yeah, called
Okay.
some escorts. Guess what you would call them.
You guys were trying to be nonchalant. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll believe you believe. It's okay.
But yeah, so yeah, we get back to the hotel and we end up calling these escorts and shit. They come and it was I don't know, it was two. They were pretty fine, pretty legit. But I don't know what else is going on there. But
Well,
you remember? much of it?
Oh yeah. So we were partaking, bachelor party style. So obviously, peg one on the bachelor party list is cocaine off a stripper's ass. So
We all have different lists.
Were
sir.
the
I
strippers
understand.
doing the cocaine too?
no, actually,
Some Wolf of Wall
thankfully
Street
they
shit.
didn't. They weren't greedy when it came to that. So one of them happened to be, claimed to be, an MMA fighter, and this guy's brother here, a glutton for pain, is like, I bet you can't choke me out. And he just assumed the position on all fours for her, happily. And she, with ease, chokeholds his ass, wraps her, she's naked, wraps her fucking heels in his thighs and just curls him up,
We got it on video right here.
Yeah.
Oh,
You have it on
perfect.
video?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
awesome.
she she wanted me to record it with her phone, and then or she wanted to record it with my phone and send it to her
Full
My
screen.
on Messenger.
God.
So we have it still.
Is this some live leak shit?
Pass this thing around.
But
Dude, she's naked and she's on the, like how he's describing, on this dude's back. She puts him in a legit fucking
Turn it a little bit more.
chokehold. Hold on, I gotta back
How
this thing
fucked
up.
are you right
Here,
now?
Watch the beginning of it. Oh my god, this bitch knows Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. God damn, she wasn't playing around either, was she?
yeah, she looked pretty fit.
He's struggling. He doesn't know what to do. He's never been fucking choked before.
By a naked woman.
Trying to not focus on the nipples on his
Damn,
back.
dude.
I
This
don't know.
dude's
I don't
never
know why
grappled
he
before
agreed to
ever.
it.
Oh, she's fucking him up. Look at her wrapping those legs around him like an anaconda.
I was telling him he wouldn't have tapped out. I guarantee if I would have told him to tap out, because he would have went ahead and passed out if I wouldn't have told him to tap out.
Do you guys want to?
Yeah, I saw it.
Got it. All right.
That's fucking
My
wild, dude.
God.
Hilarious.
My God.
Yeah, so
Well, how
that
did the
girl
night
never
evolve
put her
after that?
clothes back on. So at a certain point, it just kind of became hanging out with naked chicks.
Right.
But we were having a good time for like they were supposed to leave after like an hour or something like that, and they were hanging out for like 3 or 4 hours and shit. And we were like, oh no,
And they were just naked
drinking
the whole
bottles and
time.
shit and having a good time and shit, Well, apparently we're being too loud because I had music playing and shit too, and like fucking it was all a good time or whatever. And
She was hanging out on the porch.
on the balcony, yes.
On the balcony. We were on the 15th floor. Okay, so we've got naked stripper on the balcony smoking cigarettes.
And we're
so,
being loud.
So the lady next door didn't take kindly to that.
It was some Asian chick. She came over to like knocking on our door.
She's got a robe on. She's pulling it up. Her hair's a mess. She's like,
Yes.
oh, I'm going to tell them. I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. Open the door and be like, oh, what is going on here?
Pretty much, and like we told her we were going to calm down, right? And so then she leaves. And
Don't
then,
racist Asian impressing it up for the podcast.
Oh, I wasn't
right
trying to
now.
make it.
How
I
dare
was
you.
just saying, like, it's just a lady freaking out.
Just joking. I
I wasn't
don't
trying to be like
after,
that.
after she left though, we calmed it down. Like we turned the music off and shit. We were just chilling and stuff. Then after like 15 minutes later, we hear a knock on the door real hard and shit. And we look out the people, and it was the cops. And we were like, oh shit! So I run to the bathroom and fucking dispose of the evidence that we got there, you know. And I can't believe they waited as long as they did, but yeah, they waited for like a good 5 minutes to bang on the door.
It was a very long 5 minutes.
Until I finally went there and answered the door, you know. And the strippers get all their clothes on shit in the meantime too, so we opened the door and the strippers are the first ones out the damn door and shit.
You could tell the cops didn't even want to be there. They felt ashamed for breaking up the bachelor party.
Yeah, we told them it was a bachelor party and shit, but yeah, so we ended up leaving. We
they let you do the rest of your
bottles
cocaine
and shit. No, we flushed that. We got rid of that. Wasn't even fucking with that. You know what I mean?
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, very very scary at the end there, man.
But yeah, we got out the way and then we went. I can't believe they let us drive too. We were all fucked up. I did let me take my like 3 bottles I had with me too.
So they kicked you completely out of the hotel for that whole thing?
Yeah, for that. Then we tried to get into the other hotels that were close by, and they were all saying they were sold out and shit. And it's like I feel like they just called everybody and sounded like, hey yo, we just kicked
You got blacklisted.
people out and said don't let them in. They might come to your place and fucking that's what happened.
What have you guys gone to other crazy bachelor parties?
I mean, well, I got a couple casino parties that are pretty crazy. We got a strip club down the street from you know where Hollywood Casino is, Lawrenceburg.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that concept down there. It's kind of little you know, hole in the wall type of bar, but it's like the best thing around. It's better than the ones in Covington, you know. But
yeah, I heard the ones in Covington are sketchy as hell.
I showed up there drunk one time because I'd never been to a strip club before, and I was out playing pool with the bartender that I work with, and we went out and we're playing pool, getting super fucking hammered, and then the taxi accidentally dropped us off at the strip club because they have like the same name as a bar that's down the street, and we walked in there because he was like, let's go in for a goof. You've never been. All right, and we walked in, and it's like what you were describing before. One sad girl with her clothes on, dancing around with fucking cigarette burns and scars on her face, and I was like,
I went there during...
This is not... like I went there like 15 minutes before they were about to close, and they had the fucking lights on, and there's like some dude in a suit sitting there all like gacked out of his mind, like grinding his teeth together, and I was like, yeah, fuck this place. Let's leave. Like, this doesn't... We, like, walked in, saw this site, and then walked right back out. That's my only strip club experience.
yeah, for real, if you want to go to a strip club,
and that was Covington.
You want to go to Diamonds,
shithole.
you know, out in Dayton. Pretty much the only good ones around, really.
Would you ever get a prostitute, Cody?
Probably
Never?
not.
Never?
I mean, for the funny of the podcast, of course I would, Pat, and I hope she has AIDS, and I'll fuck her
cheap
without a
labor.
condom.
Wow.
Like, what do you want me to say?
What if you wanted to build a deck and something?
What if I wanted to build a deck?
Yeah,
or
it's cheap
something?
labor.
I didn't know that you could hire hookers as
I'm sure you can.
contractors.
I'm
I mean,
pretty yeah, if they're getting
if
paid.
they're getting
What,
paid
do I gotta
good
send them a
enough, they'll do whatever.
1099 at the end of the year and like split the pussy and the fucking working on the deck money out and like
If
Yeah,
you
right,
can
that's
write it
not-
off,
should the
sure.
Can you
government has it all
tax
set up
right
correctly?
deck building as a...
Do you
Yeah,
think
okay.
prostitutes get taxed?
What?
That's just kidding.
They should be.
I'm just kidding.
What?
Only
Do you
in
think
Vegas.
In
card?
Nevada, yeah. That's what I'm saying. In Nevada, I'm sure they do.
Definitely, yeah, because it's legal there. But there's only
Yeah.
two. Isn't there only two?
Should be legal everywhere.
brothels in the entire state that have a license or some shit like that. So it's like
I don't know,
certain
but-
amount-
I don't look into Las Vegas horror law, man.
They
Go.
had the thing on HBO for forever where they did the documentary about the one. I don't fucking.
Well, let's
know.
go make another and compete.
I never been inside of a strip club either, but I remember I went down to Mardi Gras one year, and people are just so packed over there. You can hardly walk across the street without like taking like 20, 30 minutes just across the street because they're so packed. But there was a ton of strip clubs down on the road, and this is on Bourbon Street. And the strippers, and they are not pretty. Those are the daytime strippers that working at night over there, you know. They just stand out in the middle of the street, and they're just wearing the skimpiest of clothes, like G-strings. They got bellies and shit. I can't tell if they're pregnant or not, you know. Just kind of looking and
They got 12 nipples. Wait, that's a dog.
they got 12 nip.
I'm
Yeah,
a little drunk.
yeah. What the fuck? But yeah, some interesting stuff. So what time are we at, Cody?
56 minutes altogether.
Anything else you want to
Wrapping
ask
up.
Joe while we had him?
I don't have any questions.
T?
Joe, any other crazy stories to wrap this fucker up that you can think of off the top of your head?
Or T?
Nah, something a little funny, I guess. So, I was in Columbus. So I used to climb cell phone towers as a job. I would move from place to place. So, I'm in Columbus, and you know I was smoking. So I had a bowl in my car.
And climbing the tower?
Oh yeah.
That shit didn't give you anxiety?
No, that's sometimes that's what it took to chill the fuck out about how crazy it was. You know,
And how high up are you getting? Like, is it
380 foot's my highest climb.
What the fuck?
Jesus Christ,
Um,
as tall as a roller coaster, dude.
Yeah,
And you
it's
just
pretty
got
fucking high.
paid just to climb them?
Yeah, the work up there is just nuts and bolts, you know. But
They
yeah,
just need people that have
Why'd
the
you
balls
stop?
to actually do it.
yeah.
Why'd you stop working for them?
Because it's fucking nuts. And I
Because you
well,
could die easily.
Yeah, true.
I saw this guy. So
You saw someone plummet.
okay, I guess I got something there.
Let's
so
hear some stories.
Let's go deep. Yeah, this is great.
it's not too bad, but so when you're lifting something up a tower, okay, you're doing it with a rope. There's a motor that you put in the back of your truck hitch called a cat head. Okay, now this motor, you just kind of loop the rope around one time and pull tension on it, right? So the motor will do the lifting work. You just got to hold tension on it. There's a purpose behind that, because you need to know if the line's too tight or not. You know, if it's too tight, it's snagged on something. So these dickheads think it's a great idea to just tie it to the damn motor and drive the truck. And what they were lifting was an entire frame of one sector. Okay, so that's the whole. If you ever look up at the towers, you know, you see kind of a triangular frame up there. That's 3 triangular frames, one on each of 3 sides. Okay, so that's sector A, B, and G, alpha, beta, gamma. But anyway, so they're lifting the whole damn frame up, and they're driving it up back with the truck. I wasn't on the tower. I was on the ground, you know, but the fucking rope snaps, and this shit shifts, and this guy gets it in the head.
Oh my.
And he doesn't climb down. No, these fucking people are nuts. He just wraps tape around his goddamn head and fucking finishes before he climbs down. And that was probably the day where I was like, I need to get out of this line of work.
That
Dude.
is intense shit, man. I couldn't fucking.
How do you?
That entire story made my butthole tight.
You like that one, huh?
So when you do stuff like that, and you've done so, how does it make you feel when you see all these like thrill-seeking people take like selfies on top of like the world's tallest buildings without any
Fucking
like safety harnesses?
Dumbest shit ever.
The one dude died like 3 weeks ago.
There was a video of it. Did you see the video?
Yeah, of course I saw the
Did you
video.
see? Did you guys see
Yeah,
the
I
video?
don't, I don't look
Where
at
he's
him.
trying to do pull-ups. I mean,
I
fucking.
think
Yeah.
so.
He does like
This
a
guy-
pull-up and
I would
gets
love
back
to see
up.
it though,
This
because
guy couldn't do a pull-up to save his
he
life.
probably deserved it.
Literally.
Clearly,
There's
he couldn't
never
do a pull-up
there's
to
never a
save his
reason
life.
you need to ever climb that high without safety gear. I mean, if these guys were doing it with safety gear, by all means, man. You know, there's
But what
there's
kind of
equipment
hubris is
designed to
that?
keep you from dying. You know, that's the goal.
Apparently, it's a Asian kid. I think he's from China that was making side money by doing these crazy fucking videos where he's climbing this insane shit and then putting up these YouTube videos to get a bunch of views. So I think
He's
that's.
probably the last one to do that
Yeah.
for a while.
What? So
No, these dudes
back
are crazy.
to Columbus
They do it all the time.
for a
There's, like,
second there.
fuckload of these videos.
So I was drunk at the damn hotel, and of course hunger strikes and White Castle fucking calls like a bitch. So I take a nice little stroll, and of course that's the stroll that gets me. Not a stroll at all. Stroll in a car, a nice little ride. So I get picked up by the police for something I don't even know what the fuck I did. But him and his kindness did not arrest me for being shit-faced. He let me park my car and walk back to my hotel. But he did write me a ticket for the bowl.
Damn.
And that was in Columbus, so you know I had to go and attend Columbus court, and I lived in Toledo at the time, so I had to drive down there, and you know I'm in mass court, you know, so there's everyone, they're calling them up. You did this. This is what you get. Slap. Blah blah blah. They call me up. I'm there for a paraphernalia charge, and the judge asked me, you know, what do I do? And I tell him, you know, I climb cell phone towers. And he's like, well, what's that like? And I go, it's high in the sky. And the whole courtroom erupts in laughter.
I hope that
Yeah,
got
I
you out
had
of
no
something.
intention of cracking a joke, but that's what came out. And he was not very happy.
He probably came off as like sarcastic to him.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. I was serious in saying that. Man, well, it's high in the sky, man. But I'm in court for a paraphernalia charge, so that just sounds like I'm smoking weed at work all day, dick.
Yeah, I did.
So, yeah,
What did he do? What happened?
I just had to go to intervention counseling crap for overnight 3-day bullshit and
Talbert House shit.
I was lucky enough that they wanted me to come to Columbus and do it, but I had to fight a little bit. I found a mirroring program in Toledo, and I fought for them to let me go to that. They agreed, so I just had to do that shit.
Yeah, that would have sucked to have that kind of commute.
That's one of my biggest fears.
Fuck that.
Is get a paraphernalia charge for having a.
I thought you were gonna say to have a long commute to work.
Nah. I mean, I drive 25 minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad. But I would really hope I never get one of those.
I drive to work far too early in the morning to get pulled over.
Let's all talk about our routes to work. That'll be interesting. I like to take 75 to.
Say 75, get stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
Get really mad at.
Man, I really don't like traffic.
This is my license plate number.
Here's my license plate number. Here's what kind of car I drive. Let me tell you a little bit about that. No, that's funny, but that's fucking crazy, dude. So, have you ever had like any near misses when you were climbing those towers? Like,
there was a shaking moment. So, when you climb, usually there's what's called a cable. I don't know what the hell they call it anymore, but there's a safety cable that is going up whatever you climb, and you've got what's called a safety climb that you attach to it. It's the main safety you use when you're climbing up or down.
Doesn't it look like a D-ring or something like that?
No. It's like this weird thing. I never seen nothing like it until I got into that industry. But it only lets you drop 9 inches. And there was one time I was working on what's called a monopole, which is like the towers you see more in city areas, which is just kind of the singular fat ass pole with pegs sticking out. And then there's a platform at the top, and there's usually a gate that flops up and down. It's probably pretty heavy and rusted and shitty. And I was fucking with that, trying to move it up, and I lost my footing and fell into my harness. And it was the longest 9-inch fall ever. That's the most distance that thing will let you fall is 9 inches. So that's all I fell, but
you're just
what
hanging.
kind of noise did you make when you did
out of
that?
me. I screamed like a bitch. Yeah. Like exactly
your
as
pants?
you would imagine.
That's
Dude,
how he screams.
Really?
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly how
Scariest
he
shit ever.
Dude, be honest, did you
that's
shit
death.
yourself?
No. I didn't shit myself, but I was scared as fuck. Screamed like a girl. Didn't do shit for the next 3 hours. Smoked a bunch of cigarettes. Said, fuck this. Threw some shit.
Fucking
Yeah.
hate this job.
Yeah.
I'm sure it felt like that because subconsciously you knew if you fell from that height going up there that it was just completely over.
Yeah.
They would
Well,
have to pay me
you
like
gotta rely on your
$90 an
shit.
hour to do that shit. There's no fucking way.
$18.50.
Fuck that for risking your life.
Fuck.
No,
Yeah.
thanks.
Did they give you good insurance?
No.
Fuck.
I was
hilarious.
younger at the time, so I didn't really
That
look at that
is
shit,
great.
you know.
Fuck that company.
Got per diem
I'm
and all that,
crippled
though.
Oh,
now.
yeah,
I
that was
need
a
some
big
medical
that was a big boy
insurance.
company too.
It's
Nope.
like, nah.
Nah, dude. Well, we found this video that we were talking about earlier. What did you look up, Luke, so that way people can look it up if
He's
they're
already got
listening?
I looked up Rooftopper Film Zone Death.
Okay, so let's watch that real quick. It's fucking crazy. Have you guys seen this?
No.
You can just show
No.
them. I've already seen it.
Yeah,
T said that he saw it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So yeah, some guy sitting up on a ledge.
So he's working his right and left foot off, and he's hanging off head above this like tall ass fucking building, and he's just sitting there for a minute, arms kind of off. Or I mean, the legs off the building, and he let go of the left arm, and he's like letting himself down. Oh, my fucking palms are getting sweaty. And then he does one pull up, and he does another. And then he goes for the third, and you see his fucking legs wobble like he can't quite get it up there. And then, like, you just know that the panic's in him, and he's trying to climb the sides of that slippery-ass wall with his feet,
And you know it's windy, too.
trying to get up that fucking tower, and now he's just hanging there. Must just know he's going to die. There's nothing.
It's making me so tense.
Oh, God. And then he just fucking lets go, and then he's gone.
Done.
Apparently, he didn't fall on the ground below. He fell on, like, on a building that was... It was still crazy. It was, like, 100-and-something feet that he's fucking dropped
He
on his
died
noggin.
instantly, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he was gone.
The industrial
Gonzo.
side
I'm
of
sure
that
he hit
is the most
maximum
dangerous
velocity.
career field in the world. So any
Well, this is just some
attempt to
asshole that
try
likes climbing
something
buildings.
in a fun civilian, however you want to think about it, pastime manners, fucking ridiculous.
What people do for views.
God.
For real.
Did you ever hear about that YouTuber who died? What happened was that him and his girlfriend decided to get a desert eagle. Let me just say.
Yeah, I did see that. That's fucking
I saw it, too.
ridiculously
He
stupid.
wanted to prove that a Bible or dictionary could
Book.
stop a fucking 50 caliber bullet.
Oh my
A
god.
Desert Eagle.
Yeah, on a
A
desert
gun that almost
eagle.
breaks your hand when you fucking
Yeah.
fire it. Good luck.
And it killed him. It killed him.
Well, he probably
I
deserved
think
that.
she got charged with murder. I'm not, but don't.
I don't think she
you
did.
know, I don't know.
She
to be
definitely
honest.
went
I mean,
to jail for a
I
while
could
and
see
they
him
gotta go to
slapping her
court.
with involuntary manslaughter. You got to be a fucking retard to even agree to do that.
That's
Yep.
pretty
Yeah.
crazy. That at least in my thoughts, I think that like if you like, let's say if it's just someone dies and it's a total accident, you could still go to jail for so long. Like total fucking
I
accident.
heard they
Yeah, I
tested
think
it
that's
beforehand.
bullshit.
Though. I heard they tested shooting the book beforehand before they did it.
and it
They
worked.
did.
And the
and
book
They
stopped
should have
it.
just
That
watched
was what it was,
Mythbusters. I'm sure they've done something like this.
Mythbusters would definitely do something.
But
they
wouldn't a concussion from a 50 caliber bullet, even if it didn't fucking break through, wouldn't the concussion of that like fuck your rib
Yeah,
cage
so,
and like
and that
give
there-
you a heart attack or something?
There's something that we referred to in the service as the cone of destruction that a 50 caliber bullet creates. You know, it doesn't matter where that hits on your body. It takes out a pretty good 1.5 to 2 foot diameter of
Just from the-
space.
50
the air-
caliber bullet does catastrophic
just from the
damage to the
velocity
human body.
and size of itself. Now, and that may be different coming out of a handgun because we were measuring that coming out of a 50 caliber machine gun. So it may be
Liquefying a
smaller
body.
coming out of a handgun, but regardless, it's death.
Do you guys ever watch those Demolition Ranch videos that the dude does where he'll like shoot through iPads and shit? He's been getting these blocks of
Dude,
titanium.
Look up this stuff called D30 material. It's like it looks like silly putty, but it's the more pressure that hits the material, the more harder it gets, and it's like a new kind of.
It's like a
kind of-
ballistic
bulletproofing.
gel.
Thing.
Yeah, it's really.
That's
sweet.
fucking
It's
crazy.
really sweet.
Interesting.
It's, the more harder the pressure is, or the
So
faster pressure is it.
Joe,
more harder it
because
gets.
now I have a little bit more questions, and we got to wrap up here soon. So when you were in the military, I know when you were a police officer, you have to get tased or you have to get pepper sprayed. Did you have to go through that too?
So not tased or pepper sprayed, but I did have to get CS gassed.
What's that?
It's, I guess you would riot. It's riot gas.
Tear
you know,
gas?
yeah. We have to go inside of a chamber, or a tent. You know, not a chamber, a tent, wherever the hell they're doing it. Yeah, you go. The idea behind it is to show you that your equipment works, because you go in with a face mask on, where you can breathe just fine, and then you have to remove it and remain until they get to you. If you're at the beginning of the line, you're lucky. If you're at the end of the line, like I was, where my last name's alphabetical, everything's alphabetical.
Wow.
I resided at the end, but yeah, they make you recite some things that you have to think in order to answer, and then you can walk out.
What do you mean? Why did they have to? So that way you could. Why did they do that?
Well, just to show you that your gas mask works is what they tell us. I'm sure it has to do with maintaining critical thinking under duress, because you think you're dying. I promise you think you're dying, and
what do
you're
they
not.
use in the tear gas?
You're
do you
still
know?
breathing. There's still oxygen in the air that you're breathing. As long as you're taking in breath, you're still alive. And that's what I would think and had to say in my head to get through it. Yeah.
So what
it's
was it
just
like?
Painful. Every orifice of your face, fluid
Was
emerging.
it like a burning sensation?
Everything, yes. Burning out of your eyes, out of your nose. I hope you didn't shave too hard that day, and you better believe they make
Oh
you.
my God.
They check you. They check you that morning. They're such a masochist, or say whatever the hell the word is that I'm trying to say. But this is the day I knew something was off too, because they served a really great lunch, man. They served chili mac. It was so good. And then they said,
Then
"Do
they
you
gassed you."
want seconds?" And that's when I was like, "Man, something's not right today."
They're gonna gas you.
Yeah. So
So that reminds
yeah.
me of an interesting story. So one of my friends, his brother used to run the security force for Guantanamo Bay. And he told me some crazy fucked up stories. He told me about this. I'm going to delve into it a little bit just because I really want to get the story out there, and then we'll wrap up. He told me that when they work there, that the prisoners that are brought in are treated better than, like, I'd say, our own prisoners that are in our own nation, because these people, when they come into the United States, they're here to kill Americans or kill themselves. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's what they want to do. And they're very malnourished from the countries they came from, so they came here as stick figures. But these people, all they do is just work out all day. So they're brick shit houses. They're big, hulking monster people now. And they still have that mentality where they just want to kill Americans and kill themselves. They're captured, so they're going to do everything they can to make them happy so they do not kill themselves. So they had this pepper spray that it was the strongest pepper spray in the world. And
don't they weaponize ghost peppers to make it?
I don't know exactly what's in it. He wouldn't tell me. But it's apparently so bad. Like, there was this one time where this prisoner was trying to get out, and he was going to kill himself. And they pull out this spray, and he drops his shank. And he's like, I'd rather live than get sprayed by this. You know, because it's so bad. But he told me a lot of crazy stuff from these kind of places. Like, these people only have numbers for names. So that way, because what's crazy, even though it's the most secure prison in the world, they find out the craziest shit. One time, one of the guys said his first name, and within 12 hours, the prisoner that heard his name, he came up to that guard and he said, so how's your wife at blank doing this with your son blank, driving at this location right now blank? Right out in front of him. Right there. They'd have no idea how they find this information, but they would pinpoint where their family was and everything. He had to get relocated and everything. It's craziness. That's crazy insane shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get involved with that shit, man.
Absolutely.
Fuck all that noise.
Was there anything else that we wanted to talk about before we ended this?
Nope. As always, check out more episodes of the Bastard Sermon. Joe and T, thanks for coming on with us. We really appreciate it, guys.
No problem.
Stories were fucking hilarious.
Yeah, we'll have you on again sometime soon. Good times. Well, thanks for checking us out. Peace.
Peace.